Okay, so now on your folder again, so we worked on the primary, secondary, we looked at the tracking. Now we're going to look at a bit of keyframing and tracking together. So just go on this folder here. It's basically still in the secondary, and then grab this girl in the water and drag this fire pipe as well. So these two shots we're going to work on. Let's go on your edit mode and then make sure that you, because we worked on this track now, and let's go on this shot here. Okay, right, and then if I go on my color tool here, right, so now we're going to give a bit of a look where to this girl as if she's kind of going through an hypothermia. So I'm gonna just create a new node first of all. Let me just create a new, add a new character here. So I'm gonna just kind of leave this on the side. I'm gonna work on this node here, and what I'm gonna do is simply go on my my Windows tool, and I'm gonna just go on my pen tool here, and I'm going to start selecting. Just make sure that if I'm sure if you want to view the shot, but what we're going to do is make sure that when you are creating a mask or tracking, always make sure you start from point A rather than just from the middle. So just from this beginning, I'm going to start selecting her face. I'm going to go right in and kind of go into all that as well. I think the more details you put in, better, and then you can get a really good kind of track as well. So what I'm doing is simply selecting her whole face just like that, simply doing that, and what I'm going to do is, if I go on my, and I'm going to blend it later on, I'm going to make the softer look, and once I've tracked it nice, then I can go on the inside and outside here. So let me just go on my my gamma and just give it a little bluish look. Just kind of bring her in and see kind of there. Don't go too much over the top. Obviously we just need to give her kind of that look where she's really going through. There we go. I'm happy with that. Okay, now let's move on to our tracker. Okay, and what we're going to do is track the point. As you can see that obviously it's gone off already. I'm going to go back in again, and I'm going to just simply play this track forward. Okay, and so far I've got a really good track. If you just go fit to Windows and go on the actual keyframing, and I've got my corrector 1, corrector 2, so that's 1 and 2. If I just if I mute this out, you can see that it's gone back to normal color. But what we're looking at, we're looking at the actual power curve. Remember, we were working on this tool here, and that's our power curve right down here. Okay, so that's our curve tool. Okay, and it's called the power curve. Go on my trackers, and I'm going to just start tracking that in. So I'm going to start you off. So from this point, if I go up a bit more, so if I just play this back, there you go. So from here I'm going to just do a keyframe on this point here. As soon as you pushing the red button there, I can start bringing this down. As soon as I start bringing that, watch what happens here. So if I just do that, see that. So from this point, let's go back here and let's start this again. So from here it will reverse and see that, so that's opening up. There we go. And then from here we can get it more in. So again, I'm going to do a keyframe from this point. So if I just kind of move slightly on here, and I'm going to just move from this point, I can just bring in all that in. There you go, and this is how you kind of move on to different stage on this. If I just show you that line here, of course that can be more smooth. If I just bring that in a bit more, oops, there we go. And what we can do is go back on my my main power curve and start giving kind of the inside kind of softness and outside softness as well, so it's kind of nicely blend, and that's my shot there. Okay, so of course there's a lot of work to be done. You can obviously see that you can still track out so much stuff within that, but the key thing is that's tracked very well. Okay, again, to kind of give a bit of a finalized shot, if I add another node here, I can simply overall go into the actual clip itself. Let's look at the luma form. Just bring the darks up a bit, down a bit, and then just get the whites a little bit. And of course we're looking at a lot of pale happening. Just give it more kind of, you know, so that other things could be blended as well on a different scale. There we go. So if I just kind of give that look here, and overall I can just kind of bring it all together a little bit, bring the shadows down a little bit. I don't want to crush it too much, so that can be a good shot. And of course you can see very clearly there's still a lot of work to be done on the actual whole shot itself, but yeah, this is kind of a really good example for you to just have a look. While we're on it, if you can please go on this shot as well. If I go on my sequence files again, I'm going to blend this again with black and white and just have only the fire selection. So let's have a look at this quickly. Again, let's bring the shadow down a bit more. Of course the highlights are appearing there. You can see that that's the stand, that's kind of the main kind of fire there, and you can see where the fire is coming. That's the highlights right there. Just kind of, I don't want to crush the highlights too much. So once we are happy with the shot, I've kind of made it, the whites and the blacks are all in control. So what I'm going to do is now just select with my qualifier, and if I just simply select on here, just make sure that you select on your main first picker. If I just click on here, and let's move on to the color, just leave it on the color, and I can simply see what I can do. So I'm just kind of selecting, trying my best to make sure that I can just only select this part. So if I just kind of move into there as well, let's see, there we go. If I just do that, oops, oh sorry, I've just selected more than I think I'll be happy with that. I'm fine with that. Okay, so let's stick to this. And now what I'm going to do is, if I can bring this back, make sure that's selected. Again, you can create new nodes and kind of see the before and after. Just create another add outside, so obviously it reverses in. So what I'm going to do is go on the actual color wheel and saturate this right down, and you can see the effect that it's quite really good. There's no kind of the way there's no artifacts on it, so quite of a achievement, because in After Effects it will take quite long to do this. But let's keyframe this to make it all go back to color. So what I'm going to do is simply just click on here, go on my color corrector, and this time what we're going to do is, if I just given a key there, if I just move in slightly bit on here, so that's my 0%, and I'm gonna come in down somewhere down here, and I'll give it comes back to its normal kind of highlight that. And what we're gonna do is start from the black and white, goes into color. I can shift stuff around as well. On this point, I can simply move and select the corrector as well. Just remember that this keyframe is quite cool, because then you can have your different you can work on the qualifier, defocus, note formatting, resizing and stuff. At the moment we're just working on the color correcting from this point. So if I play this back, goes to color, and then of course we can reverse it back. Again, I can just click on here, and if I just kind of do from this point onwards, and then I can go back to black and white again, and there we go. So I can kind of start manipulating how I want it, just bringing in the in and outs, and just playing with that. So if I just click on here, there you go. Cool. So hope you enjoyed this secondary color grading, and hopefully next week we're going to look at the Fairlight, which is just around here. This is a Fairlight package where we're going to talk about some audio stuff. Hopefully these two labs are were useful to you for your final projects.